It's The Law with Morelli Chertko, speaking with personal injury lawyer Greg Thompson. What was your reaction when the incoming NDP government described ICBC as, quote, a dumpster fire?
I don't think dumpster fire is a good word to use. And I honestly have clients come in and tell me, and they say, well, should I be worried? Does ICBC have any money? Is my claim capped? And I say no, no, and no. Don't worry. It's not your problem to worry about. You pay your insurance. There is money there. They aren't broke. They do have money coming in. And no, your claim is not capped. And that's the thing, is that a lot of the times clients will get offers from ICBC out of the gate. So they get in an accident and they say, well, we will give you X amount of dollars. And they, any sum of money to an individual. I mean, people always think, well, lawyers, you must be rich. It's like, well, no, for one. I'm a young father of one living in Kamloops. We're not wealthy individuals. Maybe one day when I'm like, 65 and about to retire, then I'll have some money in the bank. But right now, I'm just like any other person living in Kamloops. We're paying off student debt. We're doing our thing. And so any amount of money that's offered to you, let's say they offer you 10 grand cash, I think, well, that's pretty good. And so a lot of the time the clients will, it's a fight, and they think, well, I kind of need the money, Greg. I think, well, yeah, but think about what you're going to feel in 2 years if you're still not yourself. Then you're going to think, well, maybe 10 grand wasn't really worth it. And so that's sort of the back and forth that happens in the litigation. But I don't know what the cap issue is going to do. I don't.
Greg says he's not rich. He's wearing cutoffs today. So, so I wanted to ask you about sort of a best case, worst case scenario as far as a personal injury claim would go. We'll start with the worst. What is something that a client has done wrong? What is the worst thing they can do that perhaps doesn't end in a good outcome or a more beneficial outcome?
Well, I think, the claims are always divided into different categories, in my mind at least. So the first category is liability, right? And so I need to, as your lawyer, prove on a balance of probabilities that the accident wasn't your fault. So, for example, a rear end accident, if you're the one being rear-ended, it's not your fault, right? If you're sitting at a stoplight and someone comes up and hits you from behind, what are you going to do? But there are certain situations, for example, left-hand turn. Everyone has that time when you're sitting there at an amber light and you think, the yellow comes on and you think, okay, well, I'm waiting to turn left, but you see that other car coming down the roadway and you think, well, maybe I can make it. And then they're going to stop. And then you turn and then the other guy doesn't stop because they're thinking the same thing. They're going to wait. They know that I have the right of way, so I'm just going to go through. It's a yellow light, but I can't stop. It's snowy or whatever it is. And so that's the first animal that we have to tackle is liability. And so really the first step in all this stuff is getting witness statements, looking around, seeing who's there. I mean, it's hard. You're in the middle of the road. There's traffic all around you, and you're trying to find someone to vouch for you and say, look, you saw what happened. Can you come and help me? And it's very difficult to do that. And so, I generally tell my clients that it's best to call a lawyer right away because that's when the information is fresh. It's an investigation. And so if you wait 6 months, then you're going to say, well, I wrote the phone number of that person down on a little piece of paper. It's in my drawer at home. And then you go home and look for it. It's not there anymore. Mm-hmm. It seems silly, but lawyers are generally there. One of our skill sets is organization and to gather information and keep it secure. And so you get there and you get that information from the client right away. And so you get the names of the people, you call those witnesses, you talk to them on the phone. Sometimes you go to their house and say, look, I just need to talk to you for like 10 minutes. Take them up for coffee or whatever you got to do to just get the information because it's time sensitive because people will forget. Or in this day and age, people will move. And when witnesses move away, then you're sort of out. So it's just important for that individual just to get the information right off at the top. Okay,
best case scenario or sort of a good news story that a case that you've been on that ended just wonderfully.
Well, I'll tell you, knee-jerk reaction is nobody ever wants to be in my office. It's sad. I come to work. I love it. I honestly love it. I was telling the front receptionist as I was walking out of the office coming to this, I said, I sort of have I am who I am all the time at the office. I don't pretend to be someone I'm not. And I sort of had a big exhale. And she's like, "Oh, like that good or that busy?" And I said, "No, I love it. It's good. I get into my office and it drives me, and I enjoy every second of it. And then when you get out of the office, you sort of, oh, okay, here we go." And so I'll start with this in saying that it's never a positive. You never want to be in a motor vehicle accident. Mm-hmm. It's never a good thing. You're never going to be the same. No amount of money will change that. You can get people will see the cases released and say, "Oh, $500,000." It's like, well, no, it's not a good thing. You don't want any money from ICBC. Quite honestly, you want none. You don't want to ever be in an accident. You don't want to talk to me about this. Mm-hmm. Because when you are, people understand that once you're in that situation, it is hell. You don't like it. It's your life's on a platter. People know everything about you. We get all your clinical records are given to a corporation. They comb through it like you're a number, mm-hmm. and then they look through it and they say, "Oh, you went to the doctor for this or that or this," and it's really not a pleasant situation. So I'll caveat this by saying, on a professional level, one of the good things I've had the experience of doing so far is running a case with the senior counsel, John Hogg, at the firm. And so we ran a case to trial. And that's one of the things I like to tell clients is that Morelli Turco will go to trial. And so I think that that's important because ICBC knows. They know what firms go to trial and which ones don't, which lawyers like to go to trial, which ones don't. And they will vary their amounts they give based on that. And so the positive experience I had was running a trial with him, getting experience from a 40-year call. I think it's 42 years, actually. And watching him work and then getting the opportunity to work beside him and run that case with him. And so that's something I found was very beneficial because the senior counsel aren't going to be around forever, and I need to have that experience and say, look, this is what it is. Because it seems kind of, if I say I'm a personal injury lawyer and I've never gone to trial, you kind of think, well, do I want to have you as my lawyer? If you've never gone to battle, then that doesn't seem right to me. So that's what I needed to get. I needed to get that experience. And so I got that, and now I can say, look, yes, that's fine. And we know what to do. And so that on a personal side, professional side is something that I would say is a positive in the most recent past.
Well, I hope I didn't take this in too many directions that you weren't expecting, but it was really nice to meet you and nice for you to shed some light on how to deal with ICBC and personal injury and so forth. Thanks a lot, Greg.
Thank you very much for having me.
Greg Thompson from Morelli Turco on It's the Law.